Jack of all trades. Hey, I'm your host, Lamar L.A. Smith, and welcome to another episode of the Jack of All Trades podcast. Today I'm with my friend, Michelle Knezovic. She's a University of Kentucky and Syracuse University alum. Currently, she's a feature reporter for the ACC Network and the in-game host for Syracuse women's basketball.
Whoop, whoop. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So it's funny because I didn't know Michelle until my junior year of college, her sophomore year. And we had Deborah Chung's class together, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It was
And
like media ethics.
yeah, it was ethics, and then the other class was, I forget what the other class was. It was like she taught two classes.
Law, I think law, like
Yeah,
media law.
law too. Yeah, it was ethics, and then after that, it was law because her and Farrell like split time up. But she sat in the same row as me, and who would have thought I had her in one class, and then every semester until I graduated, we were in the same class.
I know. It's fate.
And she was one of the ones that was laughing at me when I would ask questions in class. They thought I was joking, but I was serious. Like I was dead serious. But
You're a good.
maybe because of my personality, it came out like jokes. So yeah, the teacher would look at me too, like Deborah. Deborah probably was the best one because she's composed, but I know Andrew, for example, would look at me like, how do I answer that? But I was serious, but
I know. Deborah Chung was just unfazed. She was just like, I remember the first time we met, you sat next to me in the journalism building and we just like chopped it up. I don't know, our personalities. And then I was like, here we are, right? We're graduated.
100%, yeah.
Oh, you know what? We really bonded when we did the ESPNU came to
Yeah. I remember that.
to University of Kentucky, and we covered a basketball game, and it was like a bunch of students got chosen from journalism, and we did like the whole broadcast and everything, and we all had fun working the game. And then afterwards we all like went to dinner, and like you just had me laughing like the whole time. We just had like we just had the best time because I mean, I know a lot of people when they go to college, like their majors are sometimes like so big that they have, like if you're nursing, there's so many kids enrolled at nursing at the University of Kentucky, but the journalism college was so small, like tight knit. Everyone knew everyone. You had the same classes with people. I mean, some classes were only like 10 people.
Yeah.
And they were intense. So you had to be friends with everyone really. But no, we all had so much fun. Like I still talk to a majority of the people. Because nobody really understood like
you except for journalism people.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to have you today. So enough of, the flash to pass. We're going to now get into the topic for today, which is Greek life. So Michelle, you were Delta Gamma. I can't do the sign anymore because my wrists are kind of, flickety because of writing. So yeah, I'm glad you did it. Throw the anchor up. So my first question is, what made you want to rush?
So I feel like that's kind of like has a bunch of different layers to it. So deciding to come to University of Kentucky, I'm from New York, which is where I am right now. So obviously it was a big jump, and a lot of people who go to University of Kentucky are from Kentucky. There's a really big in-state student population and just like the surrounding states around it. So going to University of Kentucky, I didn't really know anyone. I had one friend I knew going there, who was my roommate, but it always was just something I wanted to do. So touring the University of Kentucky, we saw all the Greek life houses, and of course, like
They look
in the
dope.
South, yeah, even though I never ended up living in one, they just look like so amazing. And like they're like mansions, like you can literally
100%.
look it up online. Like some of these houses, they're just so expensive, and you're like, oh my goodness, like, and you see them on campus and it just makes the campus look so beautiful. So I was like, oh yeah, of course I'll try it. So you ended up going to college like a week earlier than everybody else freshman year, which honestly was like one of the best experiences ever, because my floor there was like 15 of us girls all rushing, and I'm still like so close with them today, like just because we all became so close before school even started, and like rushing and things like that. And during the week you like meet so many different people. You're all freshmen, nobody really knows anyone, nobody knows what sorority they're going to go into or anything. But I always just wanted to be like a part of something. I was always a part of a team in high school.
Makes sense.
it,
Makes sense.
I did cheerleading, I did competitive cheerleading, so you kind of like have that friend group. So it always was just something I wanted to do. I ended up rushing freshman year, and then I actually ended up like dropping the sorority because I was like, I don't know if I want to do it freshman year. And then I ended up rushing again sophomore year, and I continued it for my
Wow.
like next 3 years. But as a freshman, like I met everybody during the rest process. I loved it. And then I was like, okay, I kind of want to like focus. I don't know if I want to do this. And then I saw how much fun all my friends had, like being a part of it and going to meetings and like all those things. So then my sophomore year, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Interesting. Hold on. So you dropped, what sorority was you in before DG then, if that's the
I
case?
was a Kappa Delta. So I rushed. I was
Oh,
a Kappa Delta.
interesting.
Yeah. And I just like, I don't know. I just was like, I don't know if I want to be a part of this, da da da. And it was nothing against it. I just, you're a freshman. You don't really
You don't really know.
know who you are, like, right?
You don't
So
know.
I did it. I met so many people during like the process itself. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I already have my group of friends that like I love. And then kind of when I joined the second time around, um, it it was more like for what like the sorority like kind of offers. Like, you know what I mean? Like you
Mhm.
do all these like events that raise money, like philanthropy events, and you raise money and fun things like that.
Cool. Dang, see? That's why I do these interviews. I'm learning stuff that I didn't even know
Right?
knowing you all this time. All right. So you already talked about it a little bit, but I want you to expound on it. How did that community atmosphere of being in Greek life kind of help you navigate college?
So one of the nice things is that a lot of the times, at least at Kentucky, and I'm sure at other schools, you get shirts that have your sorority on it or something like that. So as an underclassman, it's always nice, just whether you're walking on campus or say you're in like a big lecture hall and you literally know no one, you can kind of like see somebody, and then that's always just like a first talking point. Like nobody ever, like your freshman or sophomore year, like you feel uncomfortable really like going up to people. Now I'll talk to anyone really, like sit next to them, you know what I mean? But your freshman and sophomore year, you're definitely a little bit like shyer. When you go into a big lecture hall, it's very intimidating. And I think that's always just a nice talking point. Another like thing is that you kind of like, you have obviously freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, but you're all like intertwined when you have your meetings and things like
Yeah.
that. So it's really cool, I thought, to see what the upperclassmen were doing, whether it be like their job, like their majors that are turning into internships or jobs or study abroad programs. Or it really just kind of like expanded my eyes of like expanded my eyes, opened my eyes to different opportunities in college, different things to be a part of. And then it helps you kind of like, I don't know, figure out your way, right?
Yeah,
Still
I
trying
mean,
to figure
that
out my
makes
way,
sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll ever be done trying to figure out the way.
right?
But that's funny that you say that, because now that I think about it, I guess for me it was different not being in Greek life,
Mhm.
because I was like the total opposite. I didn't talk to anyone in class for real, unless like it just happened
Yeah.
outside of journalism, because it was like unavoidable. I think, like I said,
Gotcha.
being the one that asked all the crazy questions made it just natural for conversations to occur. They'd be like, why did you ask this? Or blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Or even stuff before the class. But outside of class is where I did all my interactions. Like I was like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Like lived in the dining hall, all of that. So that is, I never thought about it like that. As far as like, seeing someone, with the same shirt, simple like talking point, or even
I
if they
mean,
have a
think
different.
about it. It's similar to like just people having similar interests, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So say, I mean, I'm a Miami Heat fan. If I was sitting in a room and somebody was wearing a Heat
Hey,
jersey, I'm gonna be like,
hold up,
yo,
hold up. Where we got it? We got it.
do you have it?
Yeah, hold up. Where's it at? Man, hold up.
Whose jersey is it? Is it a D Wade one? Tell me it's a D Wade jersey.
Where's he at? Uh, oh, there you go. There you go.
Let's see.
Oh
Is
man,
it D Wade?
I only would do this for the Heat. If it wasn't another team, I would not do this. We got my Jimmy Butler,
Oh, Jimmy Butler. Okay, I love Jimmy Butler.
fresh off the finals appearance.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, I was like that. At first I was like, is it a D Wade jersey? And then I saw the two.
Nah,
I was like, okay, it's not a D Wade
nah.
jersey.
I love D Wade. That's my favorite player, but
Me too,
yeah,
dude.
I don't have a D Wade jersey. Not anymore that fits. Yeah,
The
so I
little
had
baby
to.
ones.
Yeah, I'd be like, so I had to get the Jimmy jersey because out of respect, I said if we go to the finals, I'm gonna get a jersey. So
You got to get a Tyler Hero one. You got to rep Kentucky, and then a Bam Adebayo one.
true, true, true. I mean, right now all I got is like a Tyler Hero like sweater.
Okay, I was really hoping
Yeah,
they were gonna draft Tyrese Maxey.
I was hoping so too, but then I was like, we already had too
Yeah,
many guards.
yeah, I know.
It just wouldn't
It
fit.
wouldn't fit.
So
Yeah, no, it wouldn't fit. But I think he'll be good in
he'll
Philly.
be a beast. He'll be a beast in the
Either
final.
way, doesn't matter.
All right, that's us. Being sports heads like usual.
Sorry,
let's,
off topic a little.
let's get back to the topic at hand. So, what was your favorite part about Greek life in undergrad?
Hmm. Favorite part? Honestly, there was this event put on every single year called Greek Sing. And
Hey, I love Greek sing. I went 3 out of 4 years.
so, and the thing I love about it is that it's very inclusive. So you don't just have to be in Greek life to go. Anyone on campus can go if you get a ticket. You know what I mean? It's an event where anybody can go, which I think is so fun about it. And essentially, what Greek Sing is a philanthropy event put on by one of the sororities and fraternities on campus, and they make money for Make a Wish, which is so incredible. I was a cheerleader in high school, so I love like dancing and things like that. And each sorority and fraternity, it's like a big competition. So you practice your routines and everything like that. And then it's a big performance and it's so fun. And everybody's dressed up in their costumes and like the makeup. And it's really fun because everyone goes like 100%, like
Yeah,
120%. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because you see that competitive side, but then you also realize that by everybody doing that, it's like the end goal, you're raising so much money for Make-A-Wish. So that, but I would have to say it's tied with Dance Blue. I did the
Ooh.
I did the 24-hour dance, which isn't really
You do like
solely.
shifts.
Yeah. No. You're
Oh,
all.
you talking about like the fact that like everyone's included.
Yeah. So, but for Delta Gamma, I was on the Delta Gamma team. So
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
can have teams for your sorority and fraternities, and they're like bigger teams, and it's just more money that you raise. So for the Dance Blue, this is separate from the Greek Sing. It's for childhood cancer. They
Mm.
have like a Dance Blue unit in the University of Kentucky Hospital. But the year I did it, Delta Gamma, we were like the highest. We like raised the most for sororities, like almost $30,000, which was just like insane. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I
That's
mean, that's
cool.
always like the reveal to see how much you raise, and then the end of the dance marathon, 24 hours on your feet. Afterwards, I was like, I need to go to sleep. But that was awesome. That was like that probably is like up there. Dance Blue, and then with the Greek Sing, that was definitely
I
up
don't
there
know
with.
how I forgot about Dance Flute. That's a good point. Like when I was
Yeah.
drafting this up, that is like one of the biggest events on Kentucky's campus, like every year.
Oh yeah. It's like, I mean, and it's grown like so much just in like our 4 years there. I didn't really know much about it my freshman year. And then I was like, I definitely am doing this my sophomore year. And I did it my sophomore year. And then it didn't it I still helped raise money my junior and senior year, but
You didn't
working
dance.
working in athletics, it was hard because that's like a big time for basketball, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So no, I didn't dance my junior and senior year, but sophomore year it was amazing.
that's dope. That's dope. All right. So, how do you feel about frat parties? Obviously, that's where a lot of people, especially if you're a freshman, like a lot of people go to frat parties there freshman year, but like, how do you feel about them in general?
I mean, I think everyone, let me think of how to answer this. Wow, you got me stumped a little bit.
I had to ask the good questions.
How do I think about
Yeah, like
them?
how do you feel about them? Like just any feeling. Like, is it something like you grew out of? Is it something like, you think they were cool, like things that they could do better? Very open-ended question.
Mr. Party Promoter over there. No, I'm
I,
kidding.
I gotta ask a party question.
I mean, I think definitely like as a freshman, you kind of like go to them and you like have like an idea in your head of like it's gonna be kind of what you see in the movies of like this like you're in this like huge house and like everything's just fine and dandy. But I eh, like I think I didn't really go to many, to be honest, like, especially, like, getting older and stuff and, like, focusing more on, like, different events, like, I would rather do like, so for instance, a lot of the times the frat parties would be, like, during tailgates, which I worked, like, every home football or basketball game,
Yeah,
so
true, 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 true.
I didn't care to sacrifice that, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't
I was
blame
like,
you.
"Oh, I'm front row at, like, the
Right.
Kentucky Tennessee, yeah, basketball game on college game day." Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is so much better, like, because my mom, I remember we had a conversation when I started getting involved in University of Kentucky athletics. She was like, "You're not gonna be able to hang out with your friends on game days or anything like that." And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna be able to be, like, right there on the field," which is, like, so cool. Um, so yeah, I guess that I don't know if that really answers it, but
I mean, that answers it. I can't choose how you're going to answer a question.
I
I'm
know,
just
but, like, I'm
I'm
not
just
used
here
to
to
this. I'm usually on the other side.
I'm just here to lob it up, and you gotta get dunk it. You gotta dunk it. I'm throwing it down the middle like a home run derby, and you gotta hit it over the fence.
Put my arm in the rim like Vince Carter.
Exactly. All right. So another big question. So
Oh
for
god,
me,
I'm nervous now.
we're back to we're still on the party topic, right? So to
God.
me, I feel like it's almost like this. I feel like that's the biggest division that you see, far as on like a lot of campuses, especially PWIs, like in how parties are set up. Obviously, this is more so like us as students we handle. But why do you think there's this like big division between, frat parties or Greek parties and like non-Greek parties? Just from like a social aspect.
Oh, from, like, a social aspect?
Hmm.
So, I think that a big assumption, um, coming into college or maybe looking from, like, the outside in about Greek life is that if you're not in it, you can't be a part of anything that it does. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, say you're having a frat party. I know at Kentucky, like, it didn't matter if you were in a sorority or a fraternity. And when it comes to like all these different events, like, it doesn't, like, you don't technically have to be in it to attend the event. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
would say it very much is inclusive in where people can like attend these events or whatever. But I think looking from the outside in, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not involved. So, like, there's this divide. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
mm,
think that if you don't want to be involved in something like that, like you don't want to be involved in Greek life, like that's completely fine. But they're also, it's a very big part of Kentucky's campus, whether it be like for different like social events or they have like date parties, which you like pair with a sorority or fraternity. And you don't have to be in a sorority or a fraternity to go to them. If you're invited by somebody, like a +1 or whatever. So say if I was like, oh, Lamar, come with me, and it's like a themed date party, and you dress up in like, I don't know, say it's like a,
Halloween. Let's keep
yeah,
it.
Halloween theme. Yeah, that's an easy one. Like you can go, you know what I mean? I think like though a lot of people might see it and they're like, oh, I'm not a part of it, so like I can't be a part of it. When it's like that's not it at all. Like you totally can be a part of it. You know what I mean? Just like in different ways. If you don't want to actually like join. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I don't know if I just
Yeah.
contradict myself, but like even if you're not a part of it, you can still like there's so many events, like in so many things that maybe financially you can't afford to be in a sorority, or time commitment, you don't have the time commitment to be in it, or you honestly just like don't think it's for you. You can still like attend like events and stuff like that. But I think the reason there is a big divide is because people don't realize that it actually is very inclusive. Like my freshman year, when I wasn't like I had dropped that sorority in the beginning of the year, I still attended like Greek sing with like all my friends who were in sororities. You know what I mean? It didn't matter. So I kind of have the perspective of like both. And their friends who were in the sororities didn't care that I wasn't in one freshman year. So I think I kind of saw it because I had friends who were in it. But I think maybe if your friend group, nobody's a part of it, you just don't realize that you're like even allowed when it's completely open to like a lot of different people or really anyone. I
All
just
right.
want to tangent.
For me, I feel like it's a two-parter, right? So the first side of the coin is exactly what you explained, where there are a lot of events. For example, I went to Greek Sing sophomore, junior, and senior year of college at UK. All 3 years, either someone hooked me up with a ticket that I knew, like one of the sorority girls I knew, or I bought a ticket from somebody. But like I was like one of the few people that went. Like I enjoyed the event. I think it's amazing. I think the philanthropy, Make a Wish Foundation is amazing.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you that some people don't think that, oh, because we're not in those events, like they don't want to go, or I don't know, it just doesn't, or they feel like because they aren't a part of these organizations, they can't go,
Yeah.
right? So there are situations like that. But then on the flip side of it, like I feel like parties is the only, not the only, but the main one where to me it can feel divisive, right? So me on the first hand, right? Because I gotta, tell the whole story. On the first hand, I understand where there's situations where, especially if you're throwing parties, if I was throwing a private party and let's say, for example, I'm not gonna lie, I snuck in a few frat parties, whatever, with friends or whatever. Sometimes we got kicked out, sometimes we didn't get kicked out. It all depends on like who's there, like if they vibe with us, even if they vibe with us and they just don't want us to be there, it is what it is. But like if someone showed up and you were throwing a party and you it was like supposed to be a private party, whatever, like I can understand why they feel some type of way about it. But like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's either a situation where like if they feel some type of way about it, I guess people that, not saying that they're supposed to, pacify people, but they feel like, oh, like we just can't get in there. Like I'm be real, like because I'm a black guy and so white frat. Whereas like I know we talked about it in my parties episode. Like if I go to a black frat, obviously everything is set up different. Divine Nine is set up different in Hellenic organizations that I can go there and it's easy. Or even sometimes like if you're a regular white dude that knows someone in the white frat, like you'll get in over me just because of, however, obviously a lot of that is pre-existing relationships, but
Yeah.
I just feel like there has to be some way where they can still keep it, whereas like I understand like, oh, they pay dues and all of that and why they want to have their own thing. But there's guys like me and I have friends that we're going because we just want to party. Like we're not trying to mess up anything that you guys have going on or whatever. And I just feel like that part of it is like is why on like a social aspect.
Yeah.
it's like, it feels like combative at times.
No, and I completely agree with everything you're saying. Like when it comes to frat parties, I think that since it's like on UK's campus, it's set up where it's literally like the fraternities, and if like it becomes such a like if you're not a part of it, like guy wise, like just guy wise,
Yeah,
like if
because
you're not,
girls, any girl can get in.
yeah, like just guy wise, like it's it's like no, like you're not a part. And I'm like, I never personally understood it because I never, well, obviously I'm a girl, but
Yes, that's why I had to speak. I had to speak the
I'm a guy
guy's
or
truth.
I'm a girl. So like I never like personally did, but so one of my best friends in at one of my best friends freshman year, she had a boyfriend and he wasn't in a fraternity, and he had like a hard time. Like he didn't, it was really hard for him to like, he didn't rush. So it was harder for him to like make friends and have a social, like a, so I don't want to say a social life because he had one, but like a part of a social life because they were so like, no, if you're not like on the list, like you can't join. And like, I personally just always thought it was like stupid, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like it's so like I don't know. Like I just think it like who are you if you're gonna have a frat party or whatever, tailgate or whatever, and have like a jillion people there, what are you gonna point out like one boy who's like literally minding his own business?
don't even talk to nobody. It's been times I walked in there, didn't talk to a single person except for
Yeah.
the people I came in
I
with.
always was like, how do they know?
Who
Like,
do you know here? I'm like, bro.
yeah.
Or it be, or they do, or they, what's really petty, they'll do that once a girl tries to talk to me. I'm not even talking to nobody. They're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Just being friendly. No one said that she want to, get with me and none of that. She's like, hey, how, blah, blah. Who do you know here?
To be honest,
I'm like minding my business.
I think it almost like is a guy thing of like being power hungry. You know what I mean? And wanting to have some sort of power or authority over another guy to say like this is my turf, which is like no. Like I I hate it. Like I hate it.
See, I'm
Like
glad
it,
that you
yeah.
said it as a woman because it has more power that way. That way we know like it definitely has way more power that way. Like to me, it's one of those things that, so to me it, at first it amplified because obviously I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I went to or snuck in was my senior year because I had friends that were sophomores and freshmen or whatever, or people that went to my parties that were sophomore and freshmen. So that's the reason why I did it. And because like, I don't know, I guess I had a house party like fetish or itch because I threw house parties. But it also is a trip because I didn't tell this story before on any of the other ones or whatever, or haven't talked about it.
Exclusive content coming. Exclusive content coming.
But it's funny because whether I recognize them or not, a lot of these guys that don't allow me to come in their parties, I allow them to come in my parties. And
Bigger person right there.
yeah, and like, not to throw shade, but my parties are bigger and better, just being honest.
Oh,
Like, because like I think the biggest thing where I feel like it felt like they were my competition is because my parties, anybody could come there, right? You see athletes, sorority girls, black people, white people, no matter your ethnicity, color, whatever. Now, a lot of those parties, I ain't gonna lie, I charge people. I'm trying to make coin, but if you had $5, you had $10, I'm gonna let you in regardless. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he wearing a shirt I don't like, you can't come in. You got five, blah, blah, blah. Or it's people that sometimes I know and they didn't have money and I just let them go in. Just because I was like, you know what, just go in, bro. Like,
I think you touched on an interesting topic right there. I'm gonna pull a little like flip the switch a
oh,
little
no.
bit.
Before I finish that, I didn't get to tell you the real kicker, right? So I
Oh
was
god.
at this frat party. I'm not gonna say the name because I actually remember the name of the frat.
Of course you do.
But this guy came up to me, right? Mind you, this is one of those scenarios where I was just chilling, not doing bother nobody. He was like, hey, I recognize you. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, aren't you Lamar? And I was like, no, he said, aren't you LA? Because everyone in the party
It's
said
LA.
LA. He said, aren't you LA? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I love your slang word of the day, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're so funny. Because
I remember you
everyone
did
knew
that.
me from slang word of the day or parties. He said,
Yeah.
and don't you throw parties too? And I was like, yeah, they're pretty dope. You should come to one. He's like, oh man, like I've been meaning to come to one, I gotta do this because of the frat, blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, like I gotta come through one time. I said, hey, come through whenever. Like, it's dope. But like, see, those type of interactions are my interactions when I'm in their space.
Yeah.
But in my space, it's like, or like when I come to their space and like the guys that don't know me, whatever, is just I don't know, it's weird. But say what you gotta say.
No, I think it almost like I think an overarching like topic, I guess that could kind of like go into. You touched on competition. And I think like it's just really interesting to like see people and how they interact. Let me try to I'm like trying to figure out how to explain this. Like so for instance, our industry, right?
Yeah,
In the media, in sports, news, entertainment, whatever. It's a highly competitive industry. And I think that when you work with people in an industry like that, I mean, we're still young professionals. So we both did grad school. So we're both finishing up, like grad school for broadcast journalism and things like that. I don't know about you at Arizona, but you went to Arizona State for journalism, and I went to Syracuse, two really, really high
high
journalism
level, yeah.
schools for our masters, like well known. And for our undergrad, we went to the University of Kentucky, which we touched on before, was a smaller program.
Mhm.
And I think this is my personally, you agree or disagree after I finish, but at Kentucky, I felt that we kind of like all were in it together, and like it really was like almost like
Yeah,
a team effort of like working in a newsroom. And I don't know if that has to do with like the way our professors, shout out to literally all of our Kentucky professors because they're like
yeah, they were
amazing,
amazing.
and how they wanted us to like improve, but it never was like Lamar, you're against Michelle. This person's against this person.
Yeah,
And when it comes to like competition, whereas when I went to Syracuse, it was definitely more of a like like really, really people were really, really competitive. And I think there's different ways people show like competitiveness. And
mhm.
it kind of like you kind of touched on the party thing. Like when you were saying you would do your parties and then the frat party, but you're like, we're not a competition. Like, do you know what I mean? Where some people be like, oh my God, Lamar, hey, what's up, dude? Like, yada, yada. And then
Yeah,
other guys would be like, bro, like, bye. Like, I think that is like, you can almost like parallel the two in a sense of like competition. Some people who you work with in the industry are like, say, like, yeah, you're both trying to get to like a specific goal, and like you can support each other along like the entire way. And then you meet other people in the industry who are just like, I need to like do everything to like
yeah,
not make somebody like, you know what I mean? So I think it's like it almost like kind of like buries down to like the type of person, and are you confident in your work to like just excel and like cheer on everybody, because everybody's a job is like meant for
yeah,
what you get as a job is different than what I'm gonna get as a job, like, you know what I mean? So I think like it almost like can be like competition, and especially with social media and things like that, it like
yeah,
heightens it because you just see it all the time, whether it be like you said, you hosting an event or a frat party, or you doing an on-air thing, or like, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
what do you think on that?
So I do agree that I see that, but I think it's different, right? So I don't know if it's like undergrad and grad both do that at Syracuse, but at Arizona State, I feel like that's more of a thing I see the undergrads do because like we
Yeah,
interact
okay,
a
so
lot with them in our professional program. And I'm
yeah,
like, everything seems like so like head on, like, oh, I gotta do more than this person.
yeah,
Like even when they trial for simple stuff like anchor positions and stuff
yeah.
like that, it seems very
I
competitive.
I 100%. That was how it was. That was how it was at Syracuse too. Like the grad program, you're kind of like, or at
And
least
more
our
like a
program,
family, at least. Like you feel
you're so
like, oh,
small.
we're
Yeah,
all together, like, you know, we been through the trials and tribulations already. So by the time you get to your professional program, it's
yeah,
like if just the username, if like Claudia, because that's like one of the person who got anchors. Like if she gets an anchor spot over me, like I'm not gonna be mad. Like I'm gonna be
yeah,
happy for her. Like I want
yeah,
her to do well because like we're all like a family, we're all friends. Like
yeah.
their wins are, you know, my wins, and like that's just how we treat one another.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree. And I think a part of it though, like, is that as a grad student, you've already experienced, like you've already kind of at least have a better sense now of who you are as a person, you know what I mean? Your freshman, your sophomore year, like those are really like big, like molding years of growing up. And if you're already thrown into this profession, classes, whatever, and it's like, this is life or death. Like I'm a freshman if I don't get this spot, but don't worry, like you will make
Yeah.
it. Like I swear. But no, I completely agree. And I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with like growing up. I always think like if I did go to like maybe a Mizzou or Arizona State or like a Syracuse, like as a freshman, like I don't know, like
It would, it
I
would be
always
probably be different.
yeah, exactly. No fault to them. I mean, it's just like I guess the environment and yeah. So
All right.
shout out Kentucky journalism for us.
Shout out the Greyhound building that technically no longer exists. I think they're building
Oh,
a new Greyhound, but I don't
yeah.
know. But yeah, that also goes into, so we talked about where there is inclusiveness and people just like really don't know it.
Yeah.
And then there's like the parts that aren't inclusive. How do
Mhm.
you think, because obviously there's no perfect fix to anything. Uh how do you think we like bridge that gap?
I think like
Because
really
like
use
we're all here together, and like it feels like, at least for me, I'm going on campus and it's Greek life, GDI, athletes. And GDIs and Greek life have way more in common than we realize, but obviously it's just, you know, how it is.
I think like a big thing would be using the power of social media and when these Greek organizations are advertising their events to make it clear that it's literally open to anyone. You know what I mean? And when you put up banners, like make that a message on there. Like uh, anyone can come, like don't have to be affiliated in Greek life, like spell it out for people. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then also make it apparent that maybe if somebody has specific views or prior like opinions on Greek life or something, which everyone's entitled to their own opinion, maybe make it clear that this event is for Make-A-Wish, right? Like it's not actually really for that specific organization. So even if you, I don't know, have preconceived notions on it or something like that, know that by you going there, it's not really about this like the group, but that organization like has ties to Make-A-Wish and is able to put on an event like this so that the more people who go, like it ends up just being a part of a bigger cause. But I think a way to bridge that gap is, like I said, like using the power of social media because it's literally free advertising. Like seriously. And just being inclusive. You know what I mean? I think people like it's like so high school to like not be. Do you know what I
my
mean?
my my same like uh, my
Not that
same
not that it's
notion, or
okay
like
in
I
high
feel,
school.
and yeah, it's not okay to do it at
No,
all,
it's
but
not.
like that's where you see it like the most. But see, that's where I always felt like, I'm not saying that I tried to fit in, where I feel like I was in my own category. So
Mhm.
I'm probably the closest that someone is going to be to having my toe in all three of those pools, right?
Yeah.
So like I was a GDI,
Yeah.
obviously. No.
And
Uh
that means just like you're not affiliated. That just
yeah,
means you're
you're
like
not
independent.
yeah, you're not affiliated with Greek life. But you know, all these like philanthropy events or whatever that were
Yeah.
Greek, I was there, but I didn't know about these 9 times out of 10, even when I was interested in going,
Yeah.
until like someone from Greek life told me, or
Mouth.
because I had a lot of friends or acquaintances in sorority. So like, you know, different Greek events at their sorority house, and like, oh,
Yeah.
come through, we're serving grilled cheese and blah blah blah,
Yeah,
or
right.
like bake sales in front of the house, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That normal people, they may only know if they walk past. Or it's been times where I remember I went in a house and then I ended up talking to somebody I knew there and
Yeah.
motivating a couple other people that walk past to get something. So like stuff like that. But most people aren't like me to dip my foot in like every pool naturally because that's my personality. So I do agree, like if you advertise it like harder or like spell it out for people, that the people that are more reluctant will kind of like jump on the bandwagon too.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think kind of like what you talked about, just walking on campus too, I think that's a plus of having the houses essentially on like one of the main strips, I'd say like pretty much like right outside of campus,
Mm,
is that by doing stuff like on your front lawn or whether it be like you said a bake sale or something that kind of allows like foot traffic for other people who are like, oh hey, I want a cookie. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, I think it could be cool like even like if the university is posting something on Instagram or Twitter, Facebook or something like that to like advertise the events too because the university is like the common of everyone,
mm,
right? So maybe by seeing it on the university's site or website or Instagram or Twitter or something, it could just make somebody decide to look at it or even see it if they don't follow any of the other organizations on social media. So maybe it's even just being seen if you don't follow the accounts or something. But I think flyers too. I mean, I know classes are weird now because of COVID and a lot of people are online and stuff like that. But I remember like UK always had a bunch of
yeah,
like
we did always have flyers of like
bulletin
different
boards
events.
and stuff. I always randomly like look at those, whether you're waiting to like get in a class or something like
Mm,
that. So many like random clubs or like different things to be a part of. And yeah, Greek life's like a really like I think it's like 25% at UK. It's like really, really big. But there's also like so many other clubs that like you have no idea about that I probably would have been interested in, you know? Like like another big, like I would say like community on campus or something is like intramural sports,
ah, yeah, that's big. I
right?
coached
Yeah.
the club basketball team my senior year.
Okay, yeah. So that's like awesome. Like I definitely would have been probably more in like I would have looking back on it now, I would have liked to probably be more involved in I don't know, an intramural sport. I just never I don't know. I just never I did like the flag football league like for one season and it was so fun and then you like things come up and stuff and I didn't make it a priority, but like those things are also so fun too, you know?
Mm.
And that's like a mixture of like you have people who will have like a team and everybody's in the same sorority or like but it doesn't have to be. It
Yeah, you
just
don't
kind of
have to
like,
be
all
just like
intermixes and stuff like that. I don't know why you didn't recruit me for your team, but that's a story for a different day.
it is what what it is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the coach, and I ended up missing the trial because I got my days mixed up. So I, luckily, I just happen to know a couple of the guys on the team already.
There
So
you go.
like, I was confident in like my interactions as I was, you know, coaching guys. But yeah, yeah. All right. My last question before we get into the game. Uh, what do you think? What did you take from Greek life that helped you in grad school?
Ooh, that's a good question. Give me a
That's what I
second.
do. That's what I do.
That has helped me in grad school. Hmm. I would say, so going into Delta Gamma, I went in as a sophomore and I was in like a pledge class of a lot of freshmen, you know what I mean? So I think I like didn't really have like maybe that common ground of like all being a freshman, I guess. And I kind of was like established with like I already had kind of established friend group from my freshman dorm. So then rushing as a sophomore, I think that I stepped out of my comfort zone and like talked to people who like coming in. So what am let me start over. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Okay, so one of my really good friends who was in my freshman dorm, who then I lived with my sophomore year, she was in the same sorority. And I think like in my head, I like had like the thought of like, I'm going to go straight into that friend group in the sorority or whatever, right? Or like
Mhm.
that group. But I think like going in as like a sophomore, I kind of like opened my eyes to just a bunch of different girls, and I found like a different group or like different people I might not have connected with. You know what I mean? So then I think that also helped me going into grad school with just like meeting so many different types of people, whether they be in my like specific journalism class or the PR grad class, or I think it just like made me like be open to more people and just meeting more people. And yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know if that was like a good answer.
No, it makes sense. I mean, it basically, improved your communication skills,
Yeah,
which,
definitely.
obviously helps with that being your field of interest. So, I mean, yeah, that answer is acceptable. Like I said, I can't tell you how to answer questions. I'm just here,
It's so weird because I'm usually on your side asking them. But I guess it just like opened my eyes to maybe like don't like have preconceived notions going into something. You know what I mean? So me going into the sorority as a sophomore, I'm like, oh, I already know this group of girls. Like I'm just probably gonna be like friends with them. You know what I mean? But then like going, like I was like meeting other people who I like had really like common interest in and stuff like that. So then going into grad school, there was like 35 people in our cohort. And I remember like in classes, like I just would try to like talk to like and meet everyone and like kind of like establish like some sort of a relationship with everyone in our program. Like there was like 35 of us. And I would say like I could go up to any single one of them and like have a conversation or like moving forward in the future. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely happy I did that because like it's just a great group of people, and we definitely went through like the ringer with like having to
Yeah.
go like online and everything this year. But um it definitely was like a year to remember, and like especially like with how intense the program was, just because it was like 4 semesters in 1 year. You really just like learn to like lean on those people and like help you get through the days when you're like laying on the floor of a classroom crying, which yes happened once or twice to me. When you're afraid you're not going to get your story done or something. But no, it definitely helped me do that in grad school.
Them deadlines, I know they hit different. I know they hit different.
You're like, I got 2 minutes left. Submit.
I definitely, I know how that feels. I know how that feels.
Yeah, you
All
do.
right, so we're going to get into the game. All right, so
Ooh.
this is this or that
Ooh.
UK Greek edition.
Oh God. Oh
So
God.
I'm gonna
Okay.
give you two situations, and you tell me which one you would pick. And almost no, everything has like a Greek flair to it. All right, so
Okay.
stuff that I know that Greek people did at UK, or they were around. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. I'm ready.
First one, two keys, a tin roof.
Oh, that's a hard one. Uh Tin roof because live music and their quesadillas are delicious. Okay.
Cool, cool. All right, next one, another heavy hitter. Greek sing or Stompapalooza?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Greek sing because I never got to be involved with Stomp, even though I loved watching it. I know, I know, I know.
Understandable, understandable. Tailgating or darties?
Tailgating, game day. Always got to rep the cats.
I feel that. I feel that. All right, next one. UK basketball or UK football?
Basketball all the way.
All right. I
Not
mean,
right
some people just like football better, but hey,
now.
I would pick basketball, without hesitation either.
Yeah.
All right.
Always. Right now we're struggling, but always UK basketball. My heart and soul.
All right. I don't know how much you had dining hall food, but the 90 or Champs?
Oh, wait, which one was champs?
Champs is the one in the new student center.
Oh, the 90. I lived in Blanding. Oh my gosh, the 90. I would go in there and eat today. I love the 90.
All right, all right. Bowman's Den, that's a throwback.
Ooh,
Or the new student center that we have.
Bowman's Den. It built character.
That is a understatement.
Wait, also quick note on that. If you didn't go to UK, Bowman's Den was like this temporary student center. And literally when you would leave it, you would like smell like all the food in there.
Yes.
You'd
Oh
be like,
my
you just went to
God.
Bowman's Den. But it was worth it because they had good food in there.
They had good food, but yeah, like you said, when you left, you smelled like whatever they were cooking that day.
Oh yeah,
That
for sure.
once someone
And
broke
the
that glass
Chick-fil-A.
ceiling for me, I could barely ever go in there. Like I was very selective because
Oh
like it
yeah,
was like the end of my sophomore year, which was your freshman year, and I was like, I
I know.
can't, I
I
can't
can't,
like
I can't
mess
do
it
it.
up for me. All right, sorority rush or sorority recruitment?
Ooh. I th-
Yeah,
oh, that's a hard
yeah.
one. I think rush because I just met so many different people. And like as a freshman, it's so fun to like dress up and yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. All right. Theme parties or formals? Obviously, some formals can have things, but you know what I mean.
Themes are so fun. I love picking out a costume or a fun themed outfit or going to Goodwill. Themes.
All right, all right. Another heavy hitter. Bid day
Bid day.
or the big little reveal.
Bid day. 100%.
Okay, okay. All right, and the last one had to do this. Maybe this is petty. I don't care.
Oh gosh.
Frat guys or GDIs, and I'm talking about like dating wise.
Dating wise. Anyone who can hold a really good conversation with me. How about that?
Boom. She just blew up my question. I like that though. We like the diversity and
I don't
answers.
care. I don't care.
All right. This one is the surprise that I didn't tell you about. Okay. So
I don't like surprises.
you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. All right. So this one is dead or alive. Who would you want to have? Who are five people you want to have for dinner, but they have to have Greek affiliation, so have been in a fraternity or sorority.
Oh, I
I,
don't
I
even
want I want to
know.
test you. I want to test you. It could be people that you know, like I was going to look up people that were famous that had Greek affiliations,
This is so
but I just wanted to test you to see if you maybe knew somebody. So
I don't think I honestly
anybody, I
I
feel
know like
for example, all right, this is off the cuff, right? This because I'm
oh
just nice
gosh.
with it. Stephen A. Smith was a
No
Q.
way.
Yeah, he was a Q.
Oh, I
So
would for sure have him at my table. You know who oh, this is gonna be hard. Okay, well, Stephen A. sit right next to me. Oh gosh, I don't know anyone else. I know that sounds so bad.
you can even say people that you know, like you see,
And they have to have a Greek affiliation.
yeah, like fraternity, sorority. It could even play as a grad chapter. I'm gonna Google it right
My
now.
best friend Peyton McCarroll, who was a Kappa Delta, but she
All right.
dropped. So does that count?
No, that counts. I mean, she was initiated, right?
Yeah. And
I
then my
mean,
other
that
best friend,
counts.
Caitlin. I gotta find okay, Stephen A. Let me do a quick Google. Can I do a
That's what
quick
I'm doing
Google?
right now. Yeah, you could do. You could Google.
For any of let's see.
Ooh, I
Dun,
see
dun.
some pretty good ones already.
Oh my goodness, Ruth Bader Ginsburg,
Ooh.
1,000,000% will be at my table. Holy gamoly, she is literally like, I love her. Okay, so Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Stephen A. Smith.
See Katie Couric.
Let's see.
I see Luke Bryan, Paul Rudd,
Ooh. Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle.
Come
I feel
on,
like that
she's married
name.
to Prince Harry.
Oh, her. See the last name. I was like, that
So
sounds
here's the thing.
super
I thought
familiar.
you were going to ask me who would be at my table, like dead or alive, like not the Greek affiliation. And Princess Diana is somebody who I just like, she would 100% be at my table. So Meghan Markle, that's like kind of an insight into like the royal
All
world.
right.
Okay,
So
so we got Stephen A. Smith, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Meghan Markle. Let's see. Let's see who else. If anybody catches my eye on here. A lot of
I said Will Ferrell. I see right here.
like reality stars, like Bachelor stars, Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh,
Let's
Carrie Underwood? Let me find out.
really. I love Carrie Underwood. I just
Jim
saw that.
Parsons from what's the face? Big Bang Theory. He was the Matthew McConaughey, uh, Paul Rudd, David Schwimmer, Heather Locklear, Ashton Kutcher,
Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
Jenna Dewan. You know that used to be married to what's his face? What's that dude name? Dang, the dude that used to be in 22 Jump Street, the handsome guy, the handsome-ish guy.
Oh, Channing Tatum.
Yeah, she used to be married to him. She was in Greek.
Oh, this is
I
hard.
swear I thought you picked 5 people already, unless you want to switch it up. But I got 3. You already named.
I have
Markle,
Marcos and Ruth
Ruth
Bader
Bader
Ginsburg.
Ginsburg.
I'm going through this list. Vanessa Williams that would be really
Ooh.
cool. That would be a good one. And then let's see if anybody catches my eye on this last little zoom through. I'm like going through.
Saw Katie Couric. I saw who else I saw? Saw Will Ferrell, Paul Rudd.
Will Ferrell, because he is the funniest guy ever in any movie he's in. You have us laughing. So that would be our table. Stephen A. Smith, Will Ferrell, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Vanessa Williams, and Meghan Markle, and me.
It's a dope table.
Now that would be iconic.
Now, if you want to do the 5 that aren't Greek, since you seem like to have that on your mind, you can.
Okay, so me, well, okay.
Not including you, obviously.
Princess Diana, Dwayne Wade, Rachel Nichols.
Ooh.
She's literally the goat.
Amazing.
Mel, our professor.
Mel,
just literally the best. And 5th person, I still would have Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh, that's a hard one because I love Gabrielle Union, but I also love Dwayne Wade. So maybe a package deal. There'll be a package deal.
We'll make them a package deal just out of fairness. All right.
There you go. Out of fairness. And there's my I hope I can make that happen someday. Oh wait, I can't actually.
You can make some of those happen, you know.
Some of them. Anybody listening?
You know, maybe in a few years, you know, they'll pull this back when I have pool, and I'll be able to like, oh, can you know, have dinner with my friend Michelle? Yeah.
Right. Rachel Nichols, we both have red hair. We're both sports broadcasters.
I saw Rachel Nichols when I was at Sun's media availability last year. I think we were interviewing Devin Booker, and like, obviously, because she's Rachel Nichols, she was standing on the side, just chilling, like waiting to get the super duper exclusive after we were all done. But I was like, dang, I guess it was weird seeing her in person. I was like, huh, that's Rachel Nichols.
Oh,
obviously I didn't say nothing, but like I saw her, like she was like less than 3 feet away from me. I was like, that's Rachel Nichols.
So. I know. She is definitely one of my idols. She's amazing.
Feel that. All right. So is there anything that you want to promote before I wrap this up?
Not promote, I guess, but I mean, I guess if anybody wants to follow me on Instagram, it's at Michelle Knezovic, Knezovic. Like Lamar said, I work closely with the ACC network at Syracuse and the Syracuse women's basketball team, who are amazing this year. I think they're going to make it to a Final Four run, but I work closely with the team and I cover them. So a lot of fun basketball content. Plus, I love the NBA and I love the Miami Heat. So a lot of basketball tweets out there. And my Twitter's the same thing. So yeah, that's all she wrote.
Cool. I'll put all that info in the bio once I,
Mara, thank you
edit
so
this
much
thing.
for having me. I had so much
No,
fun.
no problem. I'm just glad to, talk to you at length because it's been a minute.
It's been like literally so long. Like it's weird because we all kind of like did our own things, and then you and I were one of the few who did grad school. I don't. You actually, because I looked at Arizona, I remember,
I remember.
and then I chose Syracuse.
I mean, I knew your heart was in Syracuse. I mean, it was
I mean,
the added appeal of it being close to home. Like I
yeah.
knew
Oh,
that.
100%. Especially
So
like going to Kentucky for 4 years, like so far away from New York.
yeah, like me as a what's it called when people ask me advice for school, the way I look at it is like I'm here to help you where you're meant to go to. So like I pitch my school,
Yeah.
but I always hit them with the if you weren't to go to my school, I think you should go here. So
Yeah.
like for
Like
example, I
wherever
had
you
a friend that wanted to go to Morehouse, and I knew Morehouse was a better fit, and I was like, well, if you don't go to UK, you should definitely go to or
Yeah.
like a friend that went to Alabama, and I was like, yeah, go to Alabama. Or like in your case with Syracuse. So the second school that I say is usually the school I think you should go to. I just have to plug my school because like
Well, that's why college, like athletics in colleges are so fun because everyone just like, well, not everyone loves their college, but a lot of people have like such a like place in their heart for their college. So it's like, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best. But like
100%.
everyone feels that way, which I love. So Kentucky or Arizona? I know what I would answer
Hmm.
for
Are
my
you talking about
Kentucky.
as a school or
Like
like
what it
as a
like
state?
good choose one. No, not as a state, because as a state, Arizona wins. As a school.
As a school, definitely Kentucky.
Yeah, same here.
I mean,
Oh,
that's my second home. I wouldn't be able to handle Arizona State the way I handle it if it
yeah,
wasn't for Kentucky.
100%. And I think that
Easily
was a big
Kentucky.
takeaway from what we talked about today. Like if we didn't both go to Kentucky, I wouldn't have been able to handle Syracuse. But always BBN. BBN
Oh,
Lamar.
100%. BBN to the day I die, always. I had a big Blue Nation shirt on before I wore this Yankees jersey. Because
Oh, I don't
I
like
know
the Yankees.
you don't like the Yankees? Maybe it's somebody else in our class. That's the only reason I wore it. I
I mean,
was like,
I'm New York. I'm New York,
yeah.
but yeah. So
Do you have a baseball team?
the Red Sox.
Well, this is still good because this is Patty. So I'm all for Patty.
Exactly. I know you
Um,
are.
all right, so that's all we had today on the Jack of All Trades podcast. I want to thank Michelle for showing up, showing out for me
Thanks, Lamar.
today. Make sure you check out the new episode and post the video on YouTube. As far as podcasts, you can hear on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, probably wherever you can want to hear your podcast. And I'll also, like I said, put Michelle's info in the bio. LA out.
Deuces.